Hello and welcome back to the studio where we paint away the stress of everyday life here in Wales. Today I'm going to take the pain out of painting. I'm working on a 10 by 8 canvas panel and well, it is absolutely freezing in this studio today, as you can see by my big thick woolly jumper. And this is the first time you've actually watched one of my videos, then please click the subscribe button. But there, go to the main page or even have a look in the descriptions and there's a link there. And when you go to the main page, don't forget to click the little notification bell because I upload every Monday and I wouldn't like you to miss a lesson. So without further ado, let's have a quick look at the palette as we do every time we come into the studio. And I've got some ultramarine blue, some Prussian blue, some white and black. That's it. It's as simple as that, and just a few basic brushes. There we are, a couple of short flats, a long handled and a detailed brush. There we go. Nothing too difficult there, I don't think. Okay, so I'm just going to pick up any brush really. Now I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a little bit of Prussian blue and some white. There we are. I want to whiten this right down like this. Get it right down, right down, right down. There we go. What I wanted to show there was, if you put the white down first and then add blue to it, you'll get to this colour a lot quicker. If you put the blue down first and then add white, then you're going to have a difficulty. You're going to have a big load of paint before you actually get to the colour you want. So always start off with your lightest colour first. There was a quick tip there for you. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to very lightly paint in around my cat like this. I will make this drawing available for you on my website if you want to pop along and have a look at that and see if you can get it down and copy it. By all means, see if you can do this painting. So the goose is getting fat. And I thought it would be nice if we just did a Christmas themed painting, but that doesn't mean that you can't paint this any time of the year. So this is just a Christmas theme painting. You could change this painting actually. You could do whatever you like with this painting. It's up to you. It's your painting. Just picking up some more white. There we are. Just going to colour around in my little kitty. You can paint the cat any colour you want. You don't have to paint the colour that I'm going to paint. But I wanted to make this, because I'm so cold today, I thought I would make a blue based painting. Because it is cold in the studio, as you can, well, you can't tell. I wish you could. I wish we had a temperature gauge in here. But it is cold. My legs are cold. I got my heating on. But it doesn't help. Because my studio's out in my garden. And in the summer, I sweat because I'm getting the air conditioning, and in the winter I freeze. So there's only about 1 month a year that I can just enjoy painting when the temperature's just about right. There we go. So just going around the lines really. There we are. Just going around the lines, just painting this colour in. You can put this blue colour in the background down first if you want to put a ground down before you actually draw your painting. So whichever way you want to do it. I decided to draw Kitty out first because it's a pre-planned lesson I had, and I thought, well, I had some time in the studio and I thought, well, why not try and draw up a couple of images on some canvases. There we are, getting it ready for another lesson, and that's what I tend to do. Right, I'm going to continue painting this blue in. The time has gone very quickly this last year, I feel. When we were children, Christmas seemed to be so long, didn't it? It seemed so long before it came around. But these days, time goes so quick. Is that my age? I don't know. Let me know what you think. Is that just me? Is it just me? Maybe. I don't know. Little blue background. many different mediums that you can add into acrylic paint. You can buy things like glazing mediums and texture gels and modeling pastes, and add a lot of things into acrylic paint. You can just put things like sand into paint straight away, directly into paint. It's not going to hurt it. It's just going to give you some texture. There's stuff that retards the paint, that makes it dry less quick. There's stuff that you can add to the paint that makes it flow easier over a surface of the painting. And all these things can be made at home, believe it or not. And if you want to find out a little bit more about that, then just click the iCards just there, and like I said, hints and tips and tricks where I can share that type of information with you. There you go. There he is. That's our little kitty blocked out, or the background is anyway. Now, before we go any further, I'm just going to dry that off with a hairdryer. Normally I sit about 12 inches away on a moderate heat and dry that, and it takes a couple of minutes, but because I'm filming I get a bit closer. You can do that, but it's not going to affect it too much. And don't forget, once it's dry, it's not cured, it's just surface dry, so be careful if you put other layers on, because you can lift those layers off. Anyway, let's get on with the air drying. That's dry, I think. That's okay. So there's our background in. Now what I've got here is a compass. There you go. I've preset this to a certain size, and I've got a location spot there, because what I want to do is I want to draw a circle around my cat, like that. There you go. There's my circle. So if you haven't got one of these, just pick one up. It's pretty quick. Or you can put a little pin by there with a string and with a pencil and tie to it, and you can just draw around like that. So either one of those methods will work pretty well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up another brush very quickly. I'm going to use a combination of a detail brush and a small filbert. And again, I'm going into the blue. This is just the Prussian blue and white. Again, same type of colour, but I just want a little bit of a contrast look. So I'm just going to go around and paint around that circle like that. There you go. This is a nice, easy, lovely type of Christmassy scene which you'll enjoy painting. I hope you will. Christmas is a wonderful time of the year when people try to get together, but as I've said in the past, don't forget there are people out there that live on their own, and if you've got an opportunity to pop in and see them, wish them a Merry Christmas, take them a mince pie. It could be an elderly neighbour or something like that. Just pop in and wish them a Merry Christmas and have a cup of tea with them and make their day, because there's so many people on their own. And I don't just mean the elderly. There's younger people that suffer from depression and anxiety, and they don't like to come out of their house, and if you've got the opportunity, as I said, if it's a neighbour or something like that, just knock a door and wish them a Merry Christmas, and who knows, you might make their day for them. There's too much, not enough kindness in the world these days, I don't think. And my Molly's barking out there because I haven't taken her for a walk this morning. So just continue to use this theme and these colours, just a little bit of Prussian blue, just a little bit of white, and just go along, and you can tell what I'm doing at the moment. And could be painting a bauble for a Christmas tree, or Could be a snow globe, who knows? And we just layer building, just painting, just enjoying, just taking the pain out of the painting. And just getting rid of that stress that we all get, especially this time of year. And I would like to say at this point that this is a wonderful time, Christmas, but don't forget January. January is a month that a lot of people suffer with depression, and after all the festivities are gone, the Christmas tree is looking quite bleak, because it does, doesn't it? We put a Christmas tree up, don't we, and it looks all bright and bushy and all these lovely baubles and lights twinkling and always fantastic, and then day after Boxing Day it looks really sad and lonely, because it's had this moment for another year, and it knows it's going to go up into the loft and sit there until we're ready to bring it back down again. And the same is to be said about emotions and feelings. People get really upset and stressed, and because the anxiety of the coming year gets to them, and they're feeling a bit depressed and all that. So it's important that we remember that. So sometimes January is more important than Christmas. It really is. Sometimes January is more important. I'm going to get ultramarine blue into this, because I want a bit of warmth into this blue here, like this. Very, very similar type of colour, but it's just got that bit of warmth to it. I've got a bit of violet to it. Ultramarine blue is bordering on the red side, on the violet side. There we are. Cerulean blue tends to be a bit on the green side. Prussian blue tends to go on the black side. So just remember that. We continue to paint our globe or bauble or whatever you want to paint. You can paint whatever you want. There we go. That's looking quite nice. I quite like that. I'm going to let that dry just a little bit. Just a little bit, because I'm going to concentrate now. I'm just going to change my brush into a detail brush. There we are. And I'm going to mix up some ultramarine blue now and some white. I want my kitty to be really warm. There we go. Let's try our kitty out. Oh, that's a lovely colour. There's a lovely colour. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll put a little bit of pink in his ears in a minute. We'll put a little bit of pink in his ears. And just play with him like this. And there you go. Just paint them in. It's quite a simple type of easy painting that anybody can do. And this would make a wonderful Christmas card if you could take a photograph of this wonderful little kitty. And you could print it out into a Christmas card, couldn't you? Or you could even do this painting on a bit of cardboard or something and paint it and hang it on a tree. How wonderful would that be? You could hang this on a tree. There, that's nice. I quite enjoy these type of paintings. Just picking up a bit of dark there from the... I hadn't dried it with that hairdryer, so I'm going to have to do that, I think. There he is. We used to have carol singers who used to come around the door and sing. Don't get that much now. It's a shame. We don't get a lot of that now. We used to go carol singing when I was young. There. Used to go carol singing when I was young, yes I did. My father used to have a really good voice. That's how he met my mother, because he used to sing during the war, and my mother used to play the piano, and they met in a little place called Kenfig Hill. If you're Welsh, you might know where that is. It's down towards Porthcawl area, and North Canelli and that. Anyway, my mother was playing the piano. My father got up and he started to singing, and my mother, I think, immediately fell for him then. Because my mother used to come over every Boxing Day. For lunch. And I do miss that. I do miss my mother coming around on Christmas. There we go. Just a little bit of lighter colour there, just to give it a little bit of contrast, and on that front paw to stand off a bit. There you go. I'm just going to have to dry this with a hairdryer in a minute, because all these colours, I don't want these colours to merge too much, see? There you go. Put a little bit of lighter colour just under his paw there, like that. Do a little bit of definition in a second. And what I mean by definition is maybe I'll draw a little line around the outline, because this is a Christmassy type of, it's not realistic, is it? This is not a realistic cut, but what we want to do is just define things a little bit, I think. There we go. It'll all come together when it's done. The point of the matter is that what we need to do is just relax and just enjoy the painting process. Could be Santa's cat. Could be Santa's cat. What I'm going to do now is going to get the hairdryer on this again, and then I'm just going to get a little bit of red, because we need to put some pink in his ears, I think, to give it a little bit of contrast. Background needs a little bit more work. I'm just going to get myself a little bit closer to the easel here. I'm going to pick up some pure white, a little bit of moisture on my brush, get my little stick. I just want to put just a little bit of white here and there, and then here, and here and there, like this. There we go. Some of it will show up, some of it won't, but it's just adding just that little bit of highlight. I just want to add in like that. There you go. I'm going to get some Prussian blue now on the tip of that brush. Just going to use the same brush. I'm just going to put a bit of contrast in the bottom of this. Maybe a bit of shadow mark or something. Got a bit of shadow underneath this. His little paw there. There we go. Bit of shadow there. A little bit of moisture. Same colour. There's his little paw. I hope my head's not in shot. There you go. Just put a little bit of shadow in. Like that. This is what I said about doing that outline, so I'm just going to add a little bit more Prussian blue. Trying to keep this paint reasonably thin, if I can, so I can draw a very thin line like this. And then we can see our little kitty. There he is. He's coming to life. He is coming to life now, in front of our very eyes. By just a quick little, couple of little marks like that. I'm just going to get a bit more Prussian blue. So I want this a little bit darker. Like that. Let's do his eyes. I need some moisture on my brush because it's not running as well as I wanted it to. Just blocking his eyes in. Goes. Not the best brush for this. It's not very fine, but we'll get there. There you are. He looks. Oh, he's looking up. Oh, he's looking sad. He looks like a sad kitty. There we are. We'll work a bit more on his eyes in a second. I want to get a bit of black just on the tip of my brush, I think. And a little bit of black just on the tip of the brush. There you go, like that. Bit of fun. Should we give him a black nose, maybe? Maybe just give him a pink nose, maybe. There you go. I do have fun. What we got to do now is back into this Prussian blue, and we got to finish lining this cat. I think I'll have to give him a little bit of fur here and there like that. Let's do his tail. I think let's get a bit of, I want a bit dark. I want a little bit of contrast against that blue there. So. There you go, that's better. Just look as if it's some sort of a tail going on there like that. We'll do a bit down here as well. There you go. I I do like that. I'm just going to put a bit more lighter colour in, maybe. Just around certain areas like that. Prussian blue, touch of white. This is not an ideal brush. This is not very good. It's not very good. It's not a very thin detail brush. In actual fact, I don't want to spoil it. I want to get a very thin detail brush. And I want to put a bit of blue in his eye here now. Might have to wait for that to dry off a bit. Yes, we don't have to. There we go. We'll have to wait for his eye to dry because it's bleeding in, so it looks a bit weird at the moment, but we'll get there. We will get there. So before I do that, what I'm going to do is I want to draw a line now on Prussian blue. So don't worry about his eyes now. We don't worry about his eyes at the moment. I need to draw a line now. Just around the base of this. Try and go It's not easy. That wasn't easy. It was not easy. There you go. Nice. Now he's got a base to sit on. So let's get our bigger brush. Just block that in. I remember only having like 5 or 6 presents when I was a child at home, out inside under the Christmas tree. And then you got these kids today, they have so much. But things are so expensive, and I suppose they were still expensive when we were children, I suppose. Because our mums and dads only had what they had. I don't suppose it's anything different. We all try to give our children what we haven't had. And that's what it's all about. Let's give that a little bit of a... There we are, you've got a base now. You've got a base to sit on. Looks quite blue, doesn't he? He looks quite blue. He doesn't know what to do. He doesn't. No. I'm going to dry him off with a hairdryer. And then we can work on those eyes again a little bit later on. I'm going to attempt now to just get these eyes right. So I'm just going to go in a bit of black, bit of moisture. It's always difficult to try and do this because I should be sitting in front of the canvas like that, but because I'm filming I can't do that. Spot white always helps. Spot white always helps. Just to define the eye and that. There we go. Put a bit of colour on the one side there. That looks good. I'm happy with that so far. I'm going to get a little bit of red. I'm just going to get a little bit of red. Need some white. Small amount of red. Just to make it pink. That's it. Maybe a bit brighter. I'm going to put this ear in, or her ear. This is most probably a little girl. Right, it is now. Give it a go. This is a bit of fun. Just painting away that stress of everyday life, taking that pain out of painting. I think it's important that we just chill out and relax sometimes and just paint for painting's sake. I paint just for fun when I do videos like this, and just to pass that try and pass that information on to yourselves. And I just love just sitting here sometimes and just painting. I think that's important. We can all have these lovely big projects if we want to, and paint these wonderful paintings, but sometimes the joy comes from just really, I'm just making some thin washy paint now. Sometimes the joy just comes from just painting for no reason at all, really, just because you want to have a bit of fun. Well, Sadie's painting there. Well, this is just a reflection of maybe a window or something in on the surface of this. Don't forget, this is a globe, so we need to make it look glass-like. It could be something reflecting there. Like that. that just to give it a little bit of essence that maybe there's something just reflecting off this tree. Maybe it's hanging on a tree, maybe it's sitting on a bench. Who knows what it is? I don't know. I tell you what I do know. I got a toothbrush, and I'm going to make some really wet paint with my toothbrush, and get my toothbrush like this. And now I'm just going to pull towards myself, and I'm going to put some snow in, hopefully the snow globe. Like that. Put my brush down. I'm just going to let that dry. I'm just going to redo the eye in a second. But before I do that, I'm going to get my little detail brush and just put a few little snowflakes in, just to show that there's snow in the globe. Definitely snow in the globe. There you go. A few little there you go. I'm just going to dot the eye. I want to keep the eye sharp if I can. I'm going to go back in with my little detailing brush, picking up a bit more of that black, and I just want to re-emphasize this eye. There you go. Dot the white. There he is. Now you can name him if you want to. You can name this little cat in the globe if you really want to. If you like what you see today, don't forget to click that subscribe button if you haven't already subscribed, and go along to the descriptions or the main channel and click that notification bell, because I upload every Monday without fail. Hopefully without fail. Please leave a like, a comment, give me a thumbs up, because I always like having those little thumbs ups. They always help me. It encourage me to paint. They do. They encourage me to paint. And join me at 7:30 Greenwich Mean Time. That's London time. Every Monday, where we paint away the stress of everyday life here in Wales, and we take the pain out the painting. Paint out the painting. We take the pain out the painting. So have a lovely Christmas, a happy New Year, and I hope you just enjoy this little painting of a cat in a snow globe. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time. Bye.